Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
And I'm Claire.
And today we're talking to Max Gru from Good Heat Hot Sauce. How you doing?
Good. I'm happy to be here.
We're excited to have you here, Max.
I got to tell you, your hot sauce is probably my favorite hot sauce I had last year.
Wow.
Yeah, the queso sin queso was really, really good. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Really, really enjoyed it and went around telling everybody about it. So, yeah.
Nice. That's really, really, I'm really happy to hear this.
Well, and Laura from Joblo, I don't know if you listened to her episode, but she on the episode said that the queso sin queso was her favorite hot sauce.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I'll listen to it
about that
tomorrow for sure.
Genuinely one of my favorite episodes. She's the best. She's so awesome and so positive. Yeah. You'll love it. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to meet her while you were in New York?
No, unfortunately. It all happened so quickly while I was in New York. Like there's so much stuff to do, so many people to meet.
Yeah.
And then it went by so fast. But I met you, Claire. That's I'm happy for that.
I'm glad that we got a chance to meet. That was great.
Yep.
So let's see. Claire, that's you.
Oh, I get to start.
So get used to this.
So Max, tell us your history with spicy food and how you got to hot sauce and where you are now.
Yeah. Well, I started making hot sauce in 2019. It was just like a father and son hobby that we would be doing every Sunday. I'd go to his house and just like fire up the barbecue, and we would just like roast like random ingredients that he had in his fridge. And we bought peppers from the local farmers market, and we would just like wing it, like without writing down any recipe, and just like try to like understand how to make hot sauce, because we've always loved hot sauce together. And 6 years later, I'm here. I still don't know how I arrived here now, but I'm happy to be here.
That's like most of us, I think.
Yeah. Do you make your own sauce or do you work with a co-packer?
I have a co-packer, yes. My situation is quite unique, I'd say, because basically my co-packer is also my employer. I work for La Pimenterie.
Nice,
Yeah, so I'm an employee for La Pimenterie, and they co-pack my sauce. And I also do like micro batches that I sell at one store in Montreal. Like super, I not even micro batches, it's nano batches. It's like I do maybe 30 bottles, 40 bottles, even less sometimes. And I just like, I try shit out. I try to
great.
I have fun with it like I used to do at the beginning. But I also have like the mass produced sauces, the queso sin queso. And I got some couple of other sauces coming up real soon. But
nice. So does that mean you get paid to make your own sauce?
What do you mean?
I mean, you said they're your employer. Are you part of the production team?
No. I work in logistics, and I do a bunch of stuff because we're still like sort of not really, but like we're still acting like a startup. So we're like 13 employees, and I wear a couple of different hats for the company for sure. I started in production, like the first when they hired me was for the majority of my time was just putting bottles in cases at the end of the production line. But when my sauce went on hot ones, I switched positions a bit, and now I'm not in the cuisine at all. Like I'm not cooking or prepping or anything, but I used to do it.
Yeah. Every once in a while we've had employees who kind of, want to dabble in making their own sauce. And it is that funny point of like, wait, am I paying you for us to make your sauce? That's confusing.
Well, I haven't had that happen yet, but I can see it.
If you want to get into the nitty gritty, actually, it's just that they produce my sauce, but they also distribute it, La Pimenterie, and I get royalties.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So basically, that's the whole thing. I'm
that's
pretty
cool.
lucky.
You don't get paid to make your own sauce, but you do get paid to ship your own sauce.
I mean, I guess technically we all get paid to ship our own sauce.
That's true.
As long as we're doing our businesses the right way.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, I don't know how much you know about just kind of the way our processes have to go here to start up, but I'm curious about what it's like in Canada and how much different it might be.
It seems to be much less complicated in Canada because
Yeah.
I've been listening to some episodes in the past few days, and like you say process authorities,
Yeah.
we don't we like the equivalent to the FDA in Canada, like especially in Quebec, it's called MAPAC, and it's really smooth. It's not as complicated to like go through a bunch of paperwork or anything. I did have to attend to an online course for food
Okay.
manipulation and stuff. But aside from that, I just registered my company, and that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Because I have a company, but I'm being co-packed by La Pimenterie, so I have products, but I don't have employees. I'm just me alone. My wife handles all the social media, and yeah, we're still winging it, and yeah, pretty much that's it. Well, I'm
Uh,
not a professional like you guys. Like you guys are veterans. You're
You're
incredible.
professional. You're pro. You can make money at it.
Yeah,
Makes you a pro. You're not amateur anymore.
Well,
that's
thank
it.
you. I still look at myself like an amateur for sure. Like I get imposter syndrome all the time because I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you
We
know how
all
it is.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heartbeat was saying how the regulation is so different up in Canada, but that they deliberately jump through hoops so that they can kind of cross all the bars that they need to within the United States. Which
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that because it's you can't. I mean, I don't think they're registering their food production facility or anything with the FDA or
No,
so
no. I
yeah.
handle all the logistics and transport and exportation paperwork, and there's none of that so far. But you never know if something might pop up because I don't know if it's just because we haven't been like flagged or anything, but so far so good. But at the same time, like we mostly just deal with heat mist
Yeah.
in the States. We're still looking for wholesalers with that Pimenterie and Good Heat. So yeah, I guess with heatness it's easier. I don't know.
I was just looking up because I've been, you probably have heard, I've said it enough times now on the podcast about working with some people in Colombia, and I was looking at their processes, and it's exactly like ours,
Oh, yeah.
which I was really surprised. It's like identical.
Well, that's what I was going to say was that it was the industry, it was the acidified food industry that asked the FDA to create the regulations that we have here in the United States. So, it's not a foregone conclusion that things work the way that they do here. Obviously, canning food can be very dangerous. You can kill people with it. But there were some really notable cases of botulism and poisoning, and so the industry asked for the regulation so that people would trust the industry. So in Canada, if they didn't have occurrence like that where people were losing trust in the industry, then then
Well,
they would just
there's
regulate it
certainly
like the rest.
some equivalent to it, but I don't think it's as strict.
Right.
And they don't really like. I don't know if you have people all the time coming over to just like check on what you're doing for canning, especially like in Canada. There's none of that. When we're not handling meat products, like they really like it's no biggie.
California is super strict where they actually do come and they have to sign off on every single batch before it's sent out.
Wow.
But most states aren't like that. California is pretty extreme. But I do find it funny that our caramel production, to me, is more risky. I mean, it's obviously not, it's fine, but it's water activity controlled. So we don't have a water activity when we do a water activity meter, but it sucks. We don't test every single water activity batch. We test the test batch, we make sure it's correct, and then we follow that procedure throughout. But so the water activity rate is not one of our critical control points because we don't test it on every single batch. And so in the case of the caramel, it wouldn't be caramel if the water activity rate were too high. So there isn't a risk there, but it is kind of funny to me. We're working with milk, which is, notorious for having listeria and all those sorts of things. And then we're dependent on a safety factor that we don't test in house ourselves. Whereas with hot sauce, We pH test it, we temp test it, we do all the tests in house, but yet we still have to go this extra step of submitting everything to the FDA. Whereas with the water activity control, they're just like, yep, follow all the rules, don't kill people. Okay.
But at the same time, like in my situation, like La Pimenterie is my co-packer. So probably they do like some paperwork that I'm not aware of, but for me, I don't need it. I can go into a commercial kitchen and just make a batch of hot sauce and I'm good because I've got the certificate for food handling and that's all they need. And what's funny about it is the certificate, the course, it's basically just like it makes you learn all these meat cooking temperatures and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm vegan, so it's just no use to me. Like I'll never use that knowledge. Like it was just funny because I learned nothing about making hot sauce with that course, but it was mandatory.
We have one like that too.
Well, when we do events in Massachusetts, we have to have a ServSafe certification somewhere in our staff. It actually doesn't have to be anybody who's attending the event or myself, or somebody in our staff has to have a ServSafe certification, which has always felt like the most absurd thing ever because ServSafe is about restaurant safety. So it's, it's got information about don't store your raw meats above your lettuce and, stuff like that I'm like, that is just okay. Okay, there's somebody in our kitchen who knows not to store the raw meats above the lettuce. I'm sure that's going to make our sampling at this event safer. Okay.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. See, it's catchy, Claire.
It's contagious.
Yeah, is that the effect that I'm giving out? It's my vibe or soming?
I was wondering if you're a vegan because of the sauce. And I really a masterful stroke there. And nobody has done that. And it was really, really good.
Well, thank you so much.
It could have easily been not good at all. And it was perfect. I was a vegan for a long time. And so finding anything, it was back before like the fake cheese was good.
Yeah.
And
the market really evolved. The vegan cheese market, it's crazy now. Like there's actually some good stuff.
I've got cholesterol issues. I still eat like most of the time I eat vegan cheese and vegan butter and things like that. And then I'll just cheat every once in a while. But it's evolved so much that it's in some cases, it's actually preferable to regular cheese. So I think it's awesome. But that was, did it take a lot of research for you to get to that? Or was it just...
Yeah, I worked on that recipe for 3 years. And what's funny is that most of my recipes, they're one-shot deals. Like I just write down the recipe. At this point, I've been doing like small batches for 6 years. I just know like the amounts that I want to put in the sauce, especially for my taste, the amounts of onions or whatever. But for that one, it's just that I really wanted to create a vegan cheese sauce that was allergen-free. So no gluten, no nuts. So I really worked hard on that one. And I guess it paid off. But I'm so surprised still that to me, like this sauce was just this niche thing that nobody would care about because cheese is such like an holy thing for most people. Like it's just, you don't replace cheese with anything else but cheese. So when I got chosen with that sauce on Hot Ones, I was so surprised because to me, it was the sauce that I made for me. Or like, I knew I had something good, obviously, because my, like the people around me were like, wow, that's really good. And I love cheese, but I never thought of the scale of that. I never thought like that it would get me to Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, and it's interesting because it's not, it somehow hits in between being a cheese sauce and not a cheese sauce because it's acidified the way it is. And so it's like this complete other entity. It's great. That's what I love about it. It doesn't really fall into any one category. I ate it the first time thinking, I don't know, wondering how this is going to come out. And then I taste it and I'm like, oh, this fits that. And yet it also doesn't at the same time. And it's this complete other thing. It was beautiful. So, I mean, hats off to you. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's the secret ingredient is not so secret. It's the nutritional yeast. Such an amazing ingredient. Like it's really like, it's something I put in all of what I eat all the time. I top most of my dishes with nutritional yeast. So to me, it made sense that I would put that in hot sauce. But yeah, it's certainly like I'm surprised that I'm the first person to have thought of that, like in a hot sauce form, because there's obviously vegan cheese spreads and all that. But yeah, and like if you notice, like the nutritional yeast, it has like a little like farty smell at the very top. It's like this iodized like farty smell. So it's not for everyone. But once you eat it and you're into it, it's delicious.
Well, and it does very well, which that was my big surprise when you acidify it. It does very, very well. It's like for me with bananas. I've talked about this before, but bananas, I hate bananas, but I like bananas when you acidify them. I think it's kind of the same thing. It kind of rounds
bananas
it out
in hot sauce is amazing. It's such a great sweetener.
I haven't tried it. We don't grow bananas in Vermont.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Claire, I want to send you. We just came out with a Bananas Foster hot sauce, and it's doing very well. Like we can't keep it in stock, but the thing is that I want to send it to you, but you can't do sugar.
I can taste it. Yeah.
All right, I'll send you some then.
Should we go into hot sauce hot takes?
Yeah, I think so. So, do you have any hot sauce hot takes? Anything that everybody else is on board with that you're not?
That's a hard question. I'd say that I find that jalapenos are overrated. I guess that's my hot take. I don't know. They're good when they're pickled, but like with fresh jalapenos or even like a jalapeno hot sauce, like it's very rare that it's gonna surprise me, or it always has like a sort of metallic taste to it most of the time when it oxidizes. So it's not my favorite pepper at all. But pickled jalapenos, though, those are so good.
So
no, you're talking about green or red,
jalapeno.
or
yeah. We'll pickled the pickled jalapenos and pots.
Right.
Those are good, but like in a hot sauce, I don't really notice. I think red is sweeter, so it's less pronounced than green jalapenos. But like, yeah, I'd say green jalapenos. Like most green sauces that are just like jalapeno and lime and cilantro, is just like, I don't know. Those are overrated, I find.
You should try a red jalapeno sauce. I would say I could send you some, but that's a lot harder to do these days.
Yeah, I'll come visit you sometime.
Yeah. If you come down and visit, I'll make sure you try some really good red jalapeno sauces.
Wonderful.
What kind of peppers do you like?
I like habaneros, honestly. I find that habaneros are my go-to because they're fruity, they're hot, but not too hot. They're usually in Quebec, especially. It's easy to grow them, so they're not that expensive. It's the pepper that I put in most of my sauces. It's at least at a certain amount, there's going to be some habaneros there. I like super hots as well, and like ajis and all that. But habanero is just like, to me, it's the new classic.
Yeah.
I think for it, basically in the same vein, I think Scotch bonnets have become my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Just because they have that touchdown, but it's so close as far as flavor. They're really good.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a flavor in Scotch bonnets that I don't love. Like, I don't hate it. It's not like my least favorite, but there's like a little like thing that Scotch bonnets do that it's just not my favorite. I don't get to eat them very often because they're not they don't grow particularly well here, but but then every once in a while I do. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Scotch bonnet.
Same in Quebec. It's really hard to come across real Scotch bonnets.
They have a long
usually
growing
hybrids.
Season. Yeah.
I just got told that our local pepper people that we work with have a lot of Scotch bonnets this year. So I'm like,
nice.
I know what sauces I'm making, and I do I don't do 30 or batches of 30 or 40, which you've kind of made me think that might be something I'll do, but I do about 200, but I do a lot of those, sometimes 300, but we do pretty much a new sauce every week and have been for the last, I don't know, since May. And
that's amazing. I really want to try your sauces. Do you sell in Canada?
I don't, but you know what? Seriously, I'll send some to you. Don't worry about that. We'll figure it out. I'd love to send some.
Yeah, make sure you check the paperwork that you're going to have to.
I was going to say, Spike,
Yeah.
You could accidentally hit Max with a whole bunch of fees that he
that's
doesn't
the
need
thing.
to.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we figured that out. I almost got my friend in Colombia the same way. I sent it out there and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Send him the money.
Sometimes it's out of your control, Spike. I've tried to send stuff to my family in Canada and like, I swear I had all the things right. And then they get hit with fees.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a thing that says us.
Right. But there's
they
another
don't do that?
piece to that too.
Ah,
and Max,
okay.
maybe you know more about it than I do. I know that I've said like, oh no, I'm taking everything because I'm sending a gift. And then because it's a gift, then there's something else that happens there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, especially like from the States to Canada. I would think that it would be easier or there'd be less fees because I think Canada's more like into collaborating with the US than the US is with
and
Canada
this is
right
prior to all the bullshit of now. Like this is from before. I definitely can't even speak to what's happening now.
Yeah.
I know when we sent Al at Heartbeat, I still haven't sent him his hot sauce because we sent it and they called me and said, hey, we've got these fees to send. I said, no, I said, I want the fees. And they said, okay. And then they just sent it back to me. So then we tried to send it again.
Yeah.
And they said, we lost it. We don't know what happens. There's a box here with nothing in it. And I was like, okay, somebody wants some hot sauce.
Wow. Crazy.
Then I never got around to sending another one. And now if you're out there listening, I owe you some hot sauce. I feel bad. That's 2 years ago, I think now.
Yeah. Wow. I do every once in a while. If there's something I need to get out, I mean, I go up to Canada often enough that I can send it up. But I looked into that once just from a cost perspective. I'm like, would it be, because before all of this, we did ship to Canadian individuals as well and businesses. And I was like, would it be cheaper if I went up to Canada and like shipped it from my mother-in-law's house? And the answer is no, because Canada Post is expensive.
It's not that expensive depending on where you want to ship in Canada because Canada is so huge, but it's not that bad. I find I don't know what fees are in USPS.
It wasn't like awful or anything, but the cost difference between shipping from me or shipping from just within Canada wasn't dramatically different. And I think some of it has to do with a lot of how the US postal system and the Canadian postal system work together, and kind of who ends up paying the bulk of those costs. So like it wasn't worth the headache of the extra, like, let me drive up there and take it to it wasn't enough of a savings, I should say.
And that's funny because the reason why we met is because I drove from Montreal to New York to drop some samples to Heatonist because we were too scared to ship it. Like it just had happened, the de minimis thing.
Yeah.
So I talked to Julian and he just decided, no, let's go. You go to New York and give the sauces in person. I was like, oh no, okay, I guess I'm going to do that. I was so thrilled.
Well, and that being the weekend of the Hot Sauce Expo, and that's such a good double excuse to come down to the States.
I swear we're going to make it out there. We're not going to probably go to the expo, but we're going to, like, as a company, but we're going to just go as fans.
Have been talking. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we have been talking about the Portland Expo. So
if you're going to that one, then we would. I mean, we are already going to do it as long as we get in. It's a little harder to get in because it's small. But if we can,
is it small?
If we get in there, yeah, it's very small. That's why it's so good.
How many vendors is it?
40.
Oh, okay, that's the size of the New York Expo.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like if you do Fiery Foods, it's 100.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, but I think most of the Hot Sauce Expos, most of Seaberry's expos are like that size.
Yeah.
But I should actually reach out to him because I have no idea when sign up is, and I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do it. Is it January?
I think it's January.
We're going all in on doing events right now. So we're doing like between now and the end of the year. we're just going to do as many events as we can. And we like decided this yesterday. So we've got like multiple, instead of our regular, just one staff person, we've got like 4 other people involved, and we're doing multiple events per weekend and some weeknight events. And out of the box, like we're reaching out to our rest stops. So like the state run rest stops, and just finding out, can we set up a booth inside the rest stop and just sell to tourists? I don't know.
Nice.
We'll find out. Yeah, right. So we're just thinking about kind of all the possible events and things that we could do. My kids are really excited because they are being conscripted into this as well. So
nice.
Fun.
Well, Christmas markets are amazing. Like they're the most fun events to do, I find, because it's the time of the year that people they're looking for gifts. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
The vibe too is amazing.
Yeah, I hadn't really, the type of like Christmas market that I see in like Montreal, it's not something that we actually really have that much of in Vermont, but like the stalls out in the street and the like that sort of thing. And I presume that other cities have that sort of thing. I feel like I've seen them in pictures and other cities have them, but the outdoor places is something I always really appreciate. Like the colder you get, the more people are like, yep, we just do things outdoors. And Vermont is like that compared to the rest of the United States, but Montreal is even more that way than Vermont because it gets cold up there.
I think it gets just not cold enough here that nobody goes out when it's winter.
When our kids were little and I was trying to find like outdoor gear for them, like no companies in the United States makes like all weather gear for toddlers, and like age 5 it maybe starts, but I got a lot of stuff from Canada and from Europe, and like they had the stuff for the all weather, but like the United States were like, no, we just stay inside. I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm, and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. And I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here, and I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com. I remember that when we were in Massachusetts, we had to go through the same thing because we would go to like Goodwill to find stuff because you couldn't buy it anywhere. Yeah.
Or like rain boots that are actually waterproof, because who loves stuff? Who like toddlers clearly don't like stomping in puddles. Yeah. Hot sauce shout out.
Yeah,
the show and tell.
Yes. Did you bring a bottle of somebody else's sauce?
I did. This is what I have.
Yes.
Pico peppers?
I do.
They've been on Hot Ones season 21, if I'm not mistaken. This is their garlic delight sauce. It's so good. There's like 3 different kinds of garlic in there. There's like fried garlic, garlic scapes, fresh garlic, dehydrated garlic.
Nice.
It's just, they're insane.
We're doing something like that. Oh my gosh,
awesome.
I'm going to have to get that.
This is super good. And it's just like, it's basically like garlic butter with hot pepper.
That's great.
It's super creamy. I love it.
Where in Canada are they?
They're in Montreal as well.
I didn't even
JP and
realize
Val
that.
from Pico, yeah, they got their
Yeah.
little store in a nice neighborhood. Like it's a walkable street. It's always walkable, so there's no
Where?
cars. It's in Le Plateau, it's called. Yeah, it's a lovely shop, and they have like all the hot sauce there, and it's a relatively small space, but it's amazing what they've done with such little space.
Well, I'll have to check that out. And I don't get up to Montreal as often as I want to be in Montreal, but I love going over to the plateau, and I love that whole area. And if I'm only there for a day, I usually just stay on St. Catherine Street like all the rest of the tourists. But but I like
That's a
getting
classic.
yeah, it's easy. But I love like walking on like Saint Denis and heading over in that direction. And now I have another reason, because there is a hot sauce shop.
Yeah, we're about 2 hours
Yeah.
from the border, and we still haven't gone to Canada.
Are you really 2 hours from the border?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you should go.
I know. I mean,
That's barely
where
farther
we're
than me.
at, there's not a lot past. We have to go a ways to get to, like, Calgary and all that. But,
There's stuff.
yeah, there's stuff. It'd be worth it.
I know close, like directly north of us, it's all farm country up there, which is, in my opinion, when people say there's not much, like if it's along the border, it's usually farm country. But that might also just be this part. I don't know if that's true of the rest of Canada. But
Probably, yeah.
but
There's so much vastness in Canada, like just open fields and
yeah.
That's the vibe.
I coming from a really urban area. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and really urban area where even a state border is far away. The closest state border for me was like 4 hours just going to Nevada. And the how like the not the simplicity, but the like, you always hear about like the border, and you see, border crossings, major border crossings, but there's just like vast expanses of like land and border and area that's just open. And then of course, I mean, I remember my father-in-law, when he had a lot of medical stuff going on, so he couldn't leave Quebec, and my mother-in-law liked to travel, and so they did a cruise up Quebec, and it was a multi-day cruise.
Wow.
And that blew my mind, that you could stay in one province for multiple days of traveling. Yep. I think it was like a week or something like that, going up.
That's Canada for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Huge, absolutely huge. Yeah,
yep.
It's incredible. Although I think the landmass of Canada is similar to the landmass of the United States.
Yeah, it's just that everything like happens at the bottom of the country, and like the top is just like this whole huge space with like not much going on, but like nature, and as it should, I say.
Well, and then there's is it like none of it has no roads? Something, or no roads between towns, between cities. I think I'm
not exactly sure, but
there was some.
I could believe that
there was some whole like territory or province that had. It was. I'm talking out
very rural.
Now. It was. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. I remember just being like amazed. I mean, but basically the only way in and out of the towns was by plane, which was just incredible. And how interesting that is to govern, because there's just vastly different needs in the more heavily populated areas than there are in places like that.
I think it has to make you more conscious of everybody being different. That's kind of cool. What did you bring, Claire? Or what's your shout out?
I brought buffalo sauce from Karma.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I actually got this a while back. Might have been the Boston hot sauce show. I've had this for a while, and I was just going through my sauces, and I was like, oh, right, I still have this. And Max, you don't know, but people listening probably would know that we had Karma on the show last week. So that won't air
if
for a while.
If everything comes out when it's supposed to, this
comes out in order. And if it hasn't come out yet, surprise.
Or if it hasn't come out yet, edit.
Right. But got some buffalo sauce from Karma. So
that's awesome. It was a great talk too. I'm just going to do a shout out, and actually Heartbeat. I had the red habanero recently, and I love that sauce. When we first started up, that was one of my, like, I wanted to make a sauce like that. So
same.
It's just a beautiful sauce. So it's nice.
Yeah, it's really delicious and so simple too.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not good at simple though. That's my problem. I tried to make a simple
Same,
sauce the other day.
same.
Oh, so we made a simple sauce yesterday. It was a micro batch of, so it was a not hot sauce. So we were using habanadas, but we didn't have enough habanadas for a whole batch. And I was like, well, why don't we stretch it with Carmen's? Carmen's have this like beautiful, beautiful flowery flavor. We've never made a not hot sauce with sweet peppers. We've always used the like not spicy hot peppers. And so this was habanadas and Carmen's. And when you first tasted it, there is a flavor of peppers and you can kind of taste habanadas and the Carmen's. But at the back end, the flavors cancel each other out. And so there's like no flavor. And it's like the flavor is like the texture of softness.
Wow.
It was the most bizarre thing. And I just kept tasting it. I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is happening in my mouth? And like, I have to imagine it's going to settle differently, but it tasted like the texture of like a really soft microfiber blanket.
Wow.
If that makes any sense whatsoever.
That sounds lovely.
Right?
Well, yeah.
I have to now, because this was like 2 days ago. So now I need to go and find a bottle and try it now that it's cooled off. Or maybe I'll wait a week for it to really settle. But I was fascinated. Like part of me wanted there to be onions or something else in there to like fill in that gap. But I was so fascinated that gap existed. So it was great.
I love that.
Right?
So what's next for you?
Well, for me, I'm just trying to continue rocking it and explore, just have fun, make small batches. I got a couple nice projects that are coming along that I can't really talk about here. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff that's coming. And aside from that, yeah, I really love my position right now because I can just like continue to work. I got my day job. I got my hot sauce company. I can do my small batches. I got the support that I need. So yeah, that's basically
That's
it.
awesome.
And the dream, my big dream would be to have a food truck eventually. But like that's just crazy and I would need a partner for that or something. I can't do that alone. But yeah, that's a big dream.
In our brainstorming around doing events and like pop-ups, one of our ideas was to rent an ice cream truck from somebody who didn't need it now that the weather has turned cold, but make it a hot sauce truck. And so we would just drive around selling hot sauce in a truck with like
that
music
makes
playing.
so much sense.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that's such a great idea.
And just a big sign that says hot sauce. And people would be like, what in the world? And you like, it'd be great.
What music would you play?
I know, right? Because it's got to be like an earworm, but it's got to be different from ice cream because you're not selling ice cream.
It has to be something
and
crazy.
Also, you wouldn't want to do. I feel like the default would be to go for something like Mexican or South American, but that comes across as really racist. So you would want to be really careful not to like. So what is a music that people would associate with hot sauce without being offensive?
Well, the cliche answer would be heavy metal, but like that's
true. That's
true. Also overrated, I find. I'd go with like some nice jazz funk or something, like something really funky or
what even just about like dance. A nice music. You're like, it's going down the road playing nice music. Why is it doing that?
Buster Poindexter, Hot, Hot, Hot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everything you guys just described all in one thing.
Right. Although you would have to get royalties to be able to play it. So maybe you just write a song.
There you go.
A granola business here in Vermont wrote a song that was just they made ads of it and it was just nutty 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 and everybody was like, good God, no. And that was like the whole commercial was that.
Jingles are the best for that.
Our theme song was a song. I had this idea that flopped, but I thought because I'm old and I thought, it'd be so funny to do like this series of like fake commercials on Instagram where I'm like doing, you can chop it, you can slice it. And I'm just holding a bottle of hot sauce and just doing stupid stuff. And I thought I'm also going to be like the old guy who tries to rap because I thought that was so funny. And so I wrote this song. Well, our theme song at the beginning of this, the flavor of balance, heat, flavor, that's the beginning of that song.
Yeah. Wow.
We came out with it, and my fans like lip synced to it in a little video that we did, and it was so stupid. But everybody thought I was being serious with it, and then I got embarrassed.
Have you guys heard of audio logos? Do you know about these?
Nope.
I did not know of it as a concept, but can you think in your head right now TikTok's audio logo that plays at the end of every TikTok video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And there is I think it was Planet Money episode, pretty sure it was Planet Money episode, where they explained about how that logo was developed. And because TikTok they realized that people were editing on their platform and playing their videos on other platforms. And they were like, what can we put into the videos that has turned out to be like the best marketing campaign ever?
Yeah, that's genius.
That's fantastic. I
Right?
love that.
I was like,
that is
also like a fun little tidbit. If you listen to it, I'm ruining the spoiler at the very end of the episode, but it turns out there is accidentally a dog bark in that audio logo. They left it in by accident, and because they tried something like 400 or 4,000 different iterations, and one of them had this like elongated dog bark sound, and they accidentally left it in there. And if you listen really carefully, you can in fact hear it, but awesome. You really have to know what you're listening for. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you, Max? Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, let's see. I wrote down some questions. Well, the obvious one would be, what advice would you give to someone like me who's into their second year in the business? Maybe.
Spike, you go first.
So I'd say it's kind of hard because you're like you said, a completely unique situation. You're not really, even though you're in your second year in the business, you're not. Like
yeah, it's true.
You've been on Hot Ones. You're in a company that does this on a production level, so you get views that nobody else gets. Gosh, I feel like I should be asking you advice on this stuff. That's fantastic. What a great situation to be in. I'm really pretty jealous of that. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. I have absolutely no advice to give you on how to achieve that, because I myself have no idea how I've ended up here, but I guess just believe yourself.
That's it.
That was a good one.
Do what you love.
We sometimes ask people, or have asked people, like, what's the best piece of business advice you've been given? Gabe from Spicy Shark was on this like ages ago, and his piece of advice that he mentioned has always stuck with me, which is to always own your home market. That was a really and home market can mean different things. It can mean your area of your city. It can mean your city. It can mean your province. It can mean your region. It could be, it could be, you can scale that out kind of to whatever makes sense, but to kind of start here and go for own that before you try to go to that. I really liked that.
And you know what? I didn't think about this. This is how this podcast has helped me so much, is that at that time we had been stretching too far. And I remember distinctly changing our whole focus on that because of him saying that. I forgot that he was the one who said that, but that's what we completely changed. And now in the last 2 months, we've gotten in by the time this comes out, it'll probably be twice as many, hopefully, but we've gotten in 20 stores, but we've got about 10 more lined up.
Nice.
So it's moving along really nicely, and it's, because we're doing it only in the Pacific Northwest. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, and that's actually, I talked about, possibly doing the Portland Expo, but some of that is let's focus smaller. Let's own that first.
You would do so well there, though. Your brand is made for that. It's so good.
And I do think that we would do well there. And so there is absolutely an argument for doing it, but it is also a question. I think it's a bit of a question of, so one thing that we always ask ourselves is opportunity cost, so we'll sometimes do our berry farmers market and, bring in $50 or something, $100. I don't even know how much we bring, which is not the point of doing the berry farmers market. Berry is a really small town with a really small farmers market. So but that's on like a Wednesday. There's nothing we would be doing during that time besides doing that. So, so there's, it's good. But, a Saturday event that only brings in, a few $100s or something, it's opportunity cost, or we could be doing something else. But if we expand out into like having more people doing things, then there's not as much opportunity cost lost. If we can make money, let's make money.
And you would at that. I think you do fine at that, because it's one of those ones where it's busy enough constantly that you do fine.
Yeah, and we did really well with New York. That was really that was our best one-day market to date. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Cool.
Do you have more questions?
Yeah, let's see. Well, what is your dream? You sort of asked the same question in your rapid fire questions, but what would be your dream collaboration with a celebrity, not a brand?
You go first, Claire.
I think I probably have a few. For immediately coming to mind, so I mean, it's hard. So like every once in a while, there's somebody who's on a Hot Ones season that I'm not on, and I'm like, I really love that person. Like,
Same.
Trevor Noah was on the season after us. We were on season 20, and they were season 20. He was season 21 or something like that. And I just remember being like so close. I love Trevor Noah. I do really want to do a hot sauce with Noah Kahn, because he's Vermont, and he also has a charity, and that's a big part of what we do. And so I would love to make a hot sauce for Busy Head. And I feel like, Vermont has 650,000 people. 100% I know people who know Noah Kahn. The thing is, Vermont protects people. Like, there's a lot of celebrities that come to Vermont and live in, like Luis Guzman. Do you guys know who he is?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a character actor, and you probably, Max, if you watch movies, you've probably seen him. But he's never like the main character. He's always like a supporting character, but he has a very distinctive face, and he lives here in Montpelier. And so
does he really?
Yeah. So he like comes into the like my co-op. He eats like lunch at my co-op, and so and what's her name? Sandra Bullock's sister used to live here in Montpelier, and Sandra Bullock was here regularly for that, and so things like that. And so like Vermont is always very like, there's only 650,000 people. So yes, people know.
Wow. But
I know people who know Noah Kahn, but they're not going to share anything about him unless they're just not. That's not the way people in Vermont do it. So I just feel like I need to put it out into the world enough until it like actually gets back to him. And he's like, oh, that's a good idea or something. I don't know. It would be great. That's probably my realistic dream.
Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spikes. Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at saucecoke.com. I've been lucky, really lucky to work with my two of my biggest. I've worked with Alton Brown and I worked with Andrew Zimmern, but
wow.
Yeah, that's beyond. But I think the only other person that I would really want to that would round it out perfectly is when I was cooking and I was really getting into sauce making just in general on the line, and I made a change up to Bobby Flay's barbecue sauce, and I made it with blood orange and lime, and it basically became our unicorn blood. And that I think I'd really like that's one I would like. I actually said that to Andrew Zimmern one day, and I said, but I'm not asking you to go say anything to him. I'll do that myself. I just want him to actually get a bottle of unicorn blood and say, you've influenced this. But because that's actually one of Chef AZ's favorites as well. But I'll do that one of these days. Maybe it'll get to him. So be pretty awesome though. Yeah,
cool.
So you ready for some speed round?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. I'm going to do a little change to these, but I realized as I started doing these recently that some of them I don't want to change, but there's some of them that I really do. I'm going to skip through a little bit and leave a few out because I would like to try and start filling in the gaps on those. All right, so you win the lottery. What's the first hot sauce related thing you buy?
It would probably be like the most high-tech label printer because I still want to do like all my labels because I do my labels. I'm not really good at designing, but I still do them. And I use like this little printer, like it's so small for my nano batches. I meant because of course, like the ones from La Pimenterie, it's the legit normal stickers. But like I'd like a really good label printer that I could just like print out 50 labels and not have to commit to buying thousands of labels for a sauce.
Yeah. And I know this is rapid fire, but what do you use right now for your printing small batch labels?
I don't know if I have the old model here. It's like it's the most embarrassing thing. It's a Canon IV little printer. It's meant for like I guess teenagers to like take pictures of them with their friends and you stick it on the wall.
Yeah.
And I saw that and it was $100 and I bought it and I tried it on my bottles and it works. It's not like weatherproof though. So as soon as like there's condensation or the label is going to start like wearing off a bit. So I find that it gives it like a little, like, I don't know, crafty edge to it.
Well, I would say, especially for like really small volumes, an HP laser printer does a really good job. And you can print on, in our case, we order from Online Labels. There's probably an equivalent. And Online Labels might ship to Canada as well, but there's weatherproof polyester labels that you can order on sheets and then print on them. And so they're and it's basically the same material as BOP, like what a lot of labels are printed out of, but you can just print out on sheets on a laser printer. It'll be waterproof for like in and out of the refrigerator. We actually still print our micros. We use a different printer for that, but it's the printer. The main advantage of the printer we use over the HP, there is some resolution advantage, but mostly it's just a speed advantage. It's got higher, more RAM and all of that stuff. But we do still print on our color HP printer for some things. So
when your labels, really? Even the micro batches look really good.
Yeah,
I had
we
no
print
idea.
those all in house. Yeah, we used to print all of our labels in house until about not much more than a year ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. So yeah,
that's cool.
And it's cheap and easy. You can buy it at Staples.
All right.
That's
perfect.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
I'm actually going to look into that too, because again, we use the same label company and it's great. But if you're doing little tiny batches, it's not as good. It's not as good for them. It's not as good for us. It's just easier to do the larger ones.
I would also say if you do want to get it professionally printed, when you're doing like 100 to when you're doing under 1,000, Sticker Giant, if you can get one of their like sales or discount or coupon codes or something, Sticker Giant is cheaper than Blue Label. And Blue Label has great pricing above that, but down for the lower amounts. Okay. Sticker Giant can do the pricing's a little better.
That's cool. Good to know.
We do all the scales.
There you go. I love that.
Nice.
I mean, really, you're one of the first other ones besides Claire and I, who does a lot of these small batches like this. We get who else have we had that does that? I can't even think of anybody else that we've had on that does that. There's got to be somebody. We've had so many people.
Yeah, there is. No, there was somebody. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
it was a guy.
Yeah, I'm sure we've had, but to do them on a regular basis like that, I mean, I love it. I love it so much because I'm able to be creative and keep everything fresh at all times. So when you said that, it made me very, very happy. I definitely will be following you. If I haven't already, I follow a lot of people on Instagram, and I might send you messages here and there and see how you're doing with your batches. If you have something come out, I want to hear about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been slacking a lot though this year because it's been 5 years nonstop, like basically every week. Wow. And like this year, I've just been like, I need to step back a bit and just just take a breather and, I don't know, focus back. And I got some ideas brewing. I did some sauces this year, but like maybe less than 10, which is really not a lot for me.
That's fantastic. I mean, to say that less than 10 is not a lot. I love, that's my brain. If I say I did 10 sauces, everybody used to say, oh my God, 10 sauces. Now it's like, I don't know, what is it, 30 this year? I think 35. So,
wow.
Yeah. But I can understand having to take a break because it's been a lot. So that makes perfect sense. And then the other part is that we curate the art for every single one. I hire an artist and we go through the whole thing, and it's a lot of work. So the sauce part is actually the easiest part. The art is the hardest part. All right. So if you had to give up the hot sauce business but could do anything else, what would you do?
I would probably be a musician. If I could be a musician and live as a musician, that's what I would be doing.
Awesome. What do you play?
I play drums, and I'm also a producer. I dabble in electronic music, and and I sing in a band as well while playing drums, which is crazy.
Wow. Nice.
That explains the sauce every week right there. All right, you get to use one sauce for the rest of your life. It's Desert Island hot sauce. What would it be?
I'd go with the Pico Rico by Pico Peppers. Again, shout out Pico Peppers. It's their piri piri sauce that appeared on. It's their first sauce that appeared on Hot Ones, and it's just like this delicious piri piri with just the right amount of oregano, and like it's creamy and it's got that emulsion thing going on, and it's just delicious. It tastes like a pizza. It tastes like a whole pizza. It's so good. That's love awesome. It.
I just started dabbling with piri piri for the first time, and I am in touch with somebody in Kenya that's been helping me to make sure I get it right, and it's been a lot of fun. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
All right, if you had a sandwich named after you, what would it be, and what type of heat would be in it?
That one's tough. I love sandwiches. It's hard to choose just one. I guess I'd go with maybe a po' boy. A po' boy would be really nice. A tofu po' boy, of course, with like a spicy remoulade or something like that. Some pickles and tomatoes and lettuce. Nice bread. Yep.
Nice.
If you could go back in time and change one thing about your business journey, what would it be?
Well, the only thing I could think of would be to write down my recipes from day one. Because like for the first year, I had great sauces, but I tried to replicate them, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I did that day. And so.
But sometimes my wife would make fun of me for that, but I would always end up making something either close to it or better in trying to replicate it. But yeah, I get it. It's the same thing. What's the best business advice you've ever received?
I never really got advice from anyone, honestly. Like, it's hard for me to say. I don't know. If I'd say a good advice that I'd like to be told would be like, don't do it for the money, do it because you love it. But that's pretty much it.
I am not getting rid of this one. I don't care what happens. But if you had to fight another hot sauce company owner, who would it be and would you win?
That's also a super hard question because I'm not a violent guy, so I don't really see myself beating up no one. So I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure, honestly.
You don't have to answer it. No, it's all right. My favorite thing, I think, is that sometimes people can't answer it, or if they do, they usually go to somebody that they know is just like the most gentle person. Most of us in the hot sauce business aren't that person. If you could collaborate with any hot sauce company, who would it be?
I don't know. You guys? I mean, I haven't done any collabs as of now, so I'm open. I'm open to ideas with like basically anyone. I love collaborations. Just I'm not exactly sure like who I would want to do first, but like I would eventually love to have like a whole series of collaborations with people, like maybe do like I don't know, like an international sauce or like interstate in Canada, inter-province, or like something like that would be cool. But I don't have a company in mind per se.
Well, and for anybody who doesn't know, we talked about the $100 hot sauce for a year and never did it. And the reason why we never did it is we could never figure out really a way to make the $100 hot sauce $100 hot sauce. I think I found a way, but that way is that you have to travel to a place and make it with people there. And that has to be part of the whole thing. And I would eventually like to do that. I think that would be fantastic, but it would have to pay for itself. And that would be the $100 hot sauce. So
can I chime in on that? Yeah. I actually thought about it because I've been listening to episodes, and I think like one of the ways you could do it would be by doing do you know the Solera technique in winemaking? Solera? No. It's basically you put the wine into wooden barrels, and when you empty the barrels, when the wine is ready, you keep a small portion of the wine and you just top it off with fresh wine. And you keep doing that like every, I guess, year or whatever the amount of time you want to age your wine. Do that with hot sauce, like a barrel aged hot sauce, but you don't completely empty it. You top it off with a fresh batch and do that for like, I don't know, like what sounds good for $100, but like 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, 100 years. I don't know. But that would like be a great idea, I think, because it would be a sauce that's like in the years in the making. So there you go. If you ever,
I wonder if Tabasco's done something like that, because I know that when we had Zimmern on, he talked about some really high end Tabasco sauces that he had been exposed to that all of us don't get to see, but he got to see, which I think is pretty cool. So I wouldn't be surprised, since they do a lot of aged stuff, that they've done something like that.
Do they sell it at 100 or no?
I don't know what they sell it at. He just talked about them being very rare. So I could ask him. But the thing is that I think you just came up with the best one I've heard, honestly.
Yeah.
That's
thank
really
you.
Good. Yeah.
We just have to have a spare 20 years.
Yeah, right.
Or 10, depending on how you value time. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. If you had to pare down to only one sauce in your lineup, what would it be?
Well, it would, of course, be a queso sin queso, because it's my baby. It's the one that started it all. So, yeah.
So I will tell you, I got to say something about this, because today is kind of a big day, and obviously this will be months later, but I think today we came out with the best sauce that we've ever made.
Nice.
Wow.
And so, I've gone through so many bottles of it leading up to today that I'm almost embarrassed. I think in the last month, I've gone through 5 or 6 bottles. I just keep going through them. It's my favorite. So
that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. It wasn't going to be a regular sauce. It will definitely be a regular sauce. Right now, it's called the Queen of Art, and it's North African spiced sweet potato carrot. I really love it. All right.
Wow.
Let's see here. Where are we at? If your brand were a cave person, would it be a hunter or a gatherer, and why?
Of course, it would be a gatherer, because I'm vegan, so I don't hunt. And like gathering rules, man, like it's just, right? I don't know. Yeah, you earn it, like, and it's peaceful. And I mean, hunting, I guess you earn it too, because you kill an animal, but it's just gentler to be a gatherer.
Well, and I don't know about you, Claire. I think we've both talked about how we are on the gatherer side, but whenever I ask this question, one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites is because it's almost like the Harry Potter hat. You know, like, which house are
where
you
you
in?
Sort.
And my contention is that we are all the gatherer, because we go and put together the sauce, and the meat comes in and we put the sauce on. All right. So if you describe your favorite hot sauce from your line using without saying a single ingredient or heat level.
In one word, I'd say umami. I guess, yeah. Is that enough?
That is like, more than enough. Absolutely.
Yeah. Umami. It's the whole reason, I guess, I'm making sauce.
If Pepto-Bismol asked you to make a hot sauce using Pepto-Bismol, what would be in it, and what type of heat would you use?
That one, to be honest, I thought about it for a while, so I think I got a great answer. I would put like all the like natural things that are good for digestion along with the Pepto-Bismol. So I guess turmeric, black pepper, cayenne, supposedly like lemon. Those are all like supposedly mint. They're all supposed to be good for like digestion or at least soothing, I guess. So I'd go with that, and like it would be a smooth sauce with just like dried cayenne and and black
Wow.
pepper.
Max, so this is the first time anybody's answered that, going with everything, like trying to help what it does. And everybody
Because I don't know how it
immediately
would
looks
taste
at,
though.
you've
With
never had it?
turmeric and no, but I mean no. I've had Pepto Bismol, but like turmeric and Pepto Bismol, I'm not sure with lemon. I mean, it could work. It tastes like bubble gum, so
Well,
yeah.
I mean, and there is something to be said that like often there are things that like foods or things that are made to taste gross because then you know they're working, like that. And so like it might work, but it also might just taste medicinal. Like, oh, what I'm eating is exactly, this is what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like no one's drinking Pepto Bismol for the taste, or like maybe some people.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Have I ever said where this came from, Claire?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't know. Everybody knows Zach's sober. I say it every so often, but I've been sober for a long time, clean and sober. And when I was drinking, we actually had a thing where we would get Del Taco. I don't know what range Del Taco has, but it's a lot like Taco Bell. We would get Del Taco tacos, and we would bet each other cases of beer of how many, what we called them, pink tacos we would have by putting Pepto-Bismol in them. And
Oof.
it was awful. It was absolutely awful. And so I thought about that when I made this question, and I thought, oh yeah, if we had to make a hot sauce out of it, So there we go. Now,
Wow.
They're a little piece of trivia when we do some kind of trivia out there someday. This has been a Spike Mind Media production.